And joining us today to talk about the brand new release from Alcatrazz, simply called 5 or V, is the longtime bassist of the band, Mr. Gary Shea. Gary, how are you, man?
Great. How's everybody doing?
It's great to talk to you, man. It's great to have new Alcatrazz music, man. It's been a little while.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we're really excited. Our last record was a year and a half ago, and this is out now. It's coming out this coming Friday.
Sure.
And we're geeked. We're on our way to United Kingdom in 2 weeks for a dozen shows to England and Scotland, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sure. Now, talk a little bit about touring right now before we get into the record itself. I mean, you know as well as I do, as well as everybody does, COVID has changed everything. It's scared a lot of people. It's made touring different. How do you guys approach it? Do you approach it like, well, we're just going to go for it and see what happens, or
yeah, we waited till a couple of weeks ago to start booking tickets because who knows,
Right.
And it looks like it's all on. We had some shows in Ireland that canceled. There was problems in Ireland. We've added some more shows in England to make up for it. And I've got 3 vaccinations.
Okay. So you're well stuck.
And a flu shot.
Right.
So, I mean, we're good with that. And we're ready to go. We're leaving on the 29th. And we're just, like I said, we're just monitoring it the whole time as far as what we got to do to get to we're flying to Heathrow, what we got to do for COVID information to get there, where we got to go and take tests and all that stuff.
Right.
But we got all lined up and we're going for it.
Absolutely. Now, have you guys had a chance to rehearse, since it is kind of a, there's new guys in the band and whatnot? Have you had a chance to rehearse together?
No, we haven't. We're going to straight to rehearsal when we get there for 5 days.
Okay.
Then we play a show. We're headlining a festival in England in Great Yarmouth, and then we have another 5 days off where we've rented a big house, and we're going to hang in the house and rehearse just in the room, kind of quietly, but go through things.
Sure. So
our first rehearsals will be in a couple of weeks. We're all together in the same room for the first time ever.
So it better come together, right?
Yeah. So we're all doing our homework here. I'm walking around, like 17 songs going through my head, going, okay, this goes there, that goes there, and let's do this.
Absolutely, man. Well, if the new record is any indication of what the live show is going to be, I don't think people have much to worry about, because it is such a fun record, and it sounds like the classic Alcatrazz, but
right.
Not so much that it sounds dated and old. And that to me is the biggest takeaway from it, is it really does capture kind of where you guys are today.
Right. It's kind of like where we've always been as far as our influences go and all that, and how Jimmy and I started the group with Graham way back when. It went kind of sideways in the mid 80s with all the business stuff and with MTV and all that in the 80s with doing different styles and this and that. And Graham and Yngwie had a fight, and we lost Yngwie. We got Steve. Steve went on to David Lee Roth, offer
Sure.
couldn't refuse. And by that time, the car was smashed up pretty good.
Right.
But we've always had the same instinct for heavy rock. I mean, I grew up listening to The Who, back in the 60s. That was still is my favorite band as far as, what I want to do musically. I listen to all kinds of music. When I play bass, I want to shake the place. There's no fooling around. I want to be in a little trio playing dinner music for some nice people. I don't want that. I want balls to the wall.
Right.
And Graham doesn't like heavy metal, and he's left the band to pursue something else, and we wish him luck. And we're moving on. So this record shows what we did, and the labels behind us and the booking agents, they're all excited. So it's going along pretty good.
Sure. Now you mentioned Graham leaving, which obviously opens a position that Doogie White, admirably stepped in and filled. So talk a little bit about Doogie coming in. How did he get drafted into the band? And, how much of an adjustment was it for you guys to work with Doogie?
Oh, for starters, he's great. He's really easy. He's real professional. And there was no problems at all. We did everything remotely. I'm in Florida. Jimmy's in Chicago. Joe's in Boston.
Right.
Doogie's in Scotland, and Doogie had been on the Michael Schenker Fest tours, and our manager Giles Lavery has gone out with Graham to chaperone Graham on those tours, so he knew Doogie really well.
Okay.
So just a matter of a phone call and saying, what are you doing? This came up. Would you consider joining forces? And he thought about it for a day, and he said, yeah, let's do that. So off we went.
Sure.
There wasn't much of a downtime thing, just boom, boom, next, let's go. So it has the immediacy of that, and working hard and just really wanting to make the record rock.
Sure.
No fooling around, no silly songs, just rocking.
Sure.
So that's what we got.
Nice. Now, obviously, to be in Alcatrazz as a guitar player, you got to be otherworldly. Joe Stump is that guy, just like the history of the band. But to me, he is one of the most overlooked players of the last 30 years. So, right. I mean, why is it, do you think, that people just don't understand how good this guy is, or why hasn't he gotten the critical acclaim?
I don't know. Could be. I mean, he's on the faculty of the Berklee College of Music in Boston, where he teaches how to play shred guitar.
Right.
Been it for 20 years. So that kind of locks you into not only being in a big touring band, and doing solo albums on your own. Again, locks you into a certain demographic where you don't get exposure like you could if you joined, say, Journey or something.
Sure.
But some of that is in play, but it's good for us because he is a jewel that hasn't been buffed out yet, so we're going to go for it.
Right, exactly. Now, Gary, talk a little bit about the record itself, man. Like I said, it's got the classic feel. At the same time, it has a little bit of, it has a freshness to it that just, it really pops. So I mean, for you guys, obviously new lineup and new people in the band and whatnot. Do you write toward the old sound, or do you just make music, or do you push things away when they don't sound like the old sound? Or
no, it's just us. It's just what's coming through that saying we're in high school. Trying to put songs together, trying to make songs and play them aggressively, and they are played aggressively, and that's the style we want. So it wasn't that difficult. And now we have 5 guys on the same page. It's been really smooth.
Sure.
So we're looking forward to keeping it going. But I mean, it wasn't any big deal. It wasn't any let's rework 1983 or something. You can't go back. You can't go back and change things in time. And we're lucky that we're still who we are, and we're lucky to do what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And
definitely,
it's just. A lot of conviction, a lot of want to show people we can do. So we're determined, a lot of determination and conviction, and we're going to show what we got.
Absolutely, man. Now on 5, you have several special guests that jumped in from various bands. So talk about the guests that appear on the record and how you contacted them to be on the record.
Nigel Glocker from Saxon plays on a couple of songs. We've been friends with Nigel for a long time. Everybody knows everybody, for starters. We've been around the block. I lived in London a long time ago. Everybody knows everybody. And our drummer, Mark, was having issues with his house. He couldn't get his drums set up. They were redoing the house, rebuilding the house.
Okay.
And he had a problem with a time limit to do that. So Nigel stepped in and played some drum tracks. Same with the bass. Same thing up with the bass. I was doing some stuff, couldn't get there. And Donnie came in and played a couple of things. And he played on our last record just for fun. Sure. And he came in again and played a couple of tracks, and it's great. It's just family. It's good.
Right.
So,
excellent. And it gives fans that little extra something that, I mean, obviously, especially with Nigel with Saxon. I mean, Saxon fans are very loyal, and to see somebody from Saxon doing something else may just lead them to listen to the record and say, "Oh, cool, Saxon."
Right.
It's just a good. It's it fits too. I mean, you've heard a million records like I have. Sometimes you get a special guest and they just kind of write the song toward the guest, where they just more fit in with what you guys are doing on this record.
Yeah, they're doing what we wanted them to do, and then when here's the song goes like this, and they played it. They didn't try and change things or, just straight ahead rocking.
Sure.
Not much to think about. Just kind of bury your head and run towards the wall.
Sure. No doubt. Well, Gary, obviously, the big news, and it's the downer, but I'm not going to dwell on it, is Graham leaving. I don't want to dwell on that. I'm just curious more where you guys stand about his decision to move on with his own version of Alcatrazz. And I don't necessarily want you to say, well, that's bullshit or whatever, but I'm just curious, does that affect you guys on the business side? Is that going to make it tough for you guys to establish your band as the Alcatrazz, versus his, which would be Graham Bonnet's Alcatrazz, I'm assuming?
Number one, he quit the only band in the world called Alcatrazz.
Right.
Has a record deal on Silver Lining Records in England. Right. We did a record before that. Record did so well, they did it in blue vinyl for us. It has some great success. He walked out of the band, doesn't want to sing heavy metal. He's having a hard time doing it. He hates that kind of music. He hated Rainbow, hated Michael Schenker. Been very difficult in Alcatrazz, and he said he was leaving. We said, fine, leave, Okay. And I thought the name Alcatrazz up way back when, and the logo and all that. So he has no legal claim to that. And why would you, if you're going to leave the band, like when Ozzy quit Black Sabbath, he didn't start a band called Black Sabbath featuring Ozzy Osbourne, or Ronnie didn't quit Rainbow and say, oh, it's Rainbow, it's a Rainbow featuring Ronnie Dio. They just start their own band. So we feel kind of sad for Graham that he feels he has to do that rather than just be Graham Bonnet. Everyone knows who he is. I mean, he's always got to do a lot of stuff. So that's kind of where it stands. It's for him, it's a lot of, at the moment, it's words. There is no band. He can say he's doing this and doing that, but we're on the road. And this is Alcatrazz, myself and Jimmy. We started the group together. We had a certain vision for it, and we've kept to it. And we've, deviated through the years and taken time off and come back together. And here we are now. Right. And we are very focused, and we know what we want to do. So there was no thought about, oh, it's going to hurt us, we should stop and call ourselves the Tulips or something.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Right. It's just weird that he wants to still be Alcatrazz, but he doesn't want to play metal music. That's what Alcatrazz is.
Hello. The man is a mystery.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way. He's a mystery.
No question, man. Well, Gary, obviously, you did talk about that you're going to be doing some dates here, very soon. What are the longer term plans, if there are any, or can you even make any at this point? Because with COVID and all that stuff going on,
we've been offered a gig in Red Square in Moscow next summer for a huge festival. Wow. So that's coming up. We hope to be on a lot of summer tours next year, mostly in Europe.
Sure.
And do Scandinavia, France, Spain, Germany, all that stuff. A little harder in the States. States it's bigger. It's hard to get around. And we'll see what happens with the States, but do great in Europe.
Are you looking concentrate at the festivals too? Are you looking at the big festivals too? The Return of Wacken and all that stuff?
Exactly. That's why we're doing what we're doing right now. Okay. In fact, our first gig in 3 weeks, we're headlining a festival in Great Yarmouth, England. Okay. So our first gig is headlining.
Nice.
A festival. No pressure there. So we're gonna do that. And we're looking forward to just playing real hard and killing it. And we got 17 songs at the moment that we're working on. A little bit of everything, little blast in the past here and there, some new stuff, some older stuff, some of Doogie's stuff, and we're going to rock it. And it's going to be a great combination of the guys that are playing those songs. So that'll be, some of that stuff will be a first as well.
No question. Well, the name of the album is simply called 5 or V. It is Alcatrazz. And Gary, where should we tell people to go to keep up with the band and tour dates and buy the record and all that stuff?
Go to Facebook to Alcatrazz Official and like the page and tell your friends to like the page. And all the stuff's on there as far as touring and videos and the up-to-date things.
All right.
And that'd be the best place. And from there, I can go on to the website, Alcatrazz website, and things like that.
Okay, excellent. Well, one more time, the album is simply called 5. It is Alcatrazz. It's out tomorrow, actually, October 15th. And Gary, once again. Well, and Gary, once again, man, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neely and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand